Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Can We Talk About Podcast's super magical, very first Gem Season 1 Kimtacuber. And I guess it would be our only Gem Season 1 Kimtacuber, but the Kimtacuber is something that I guess we'll do for every season probably, right?
I guess that name is gonna stick since it's made it this far.
I know that, initially it was named subject to change. I think initially it was like Spec Kimtacuber or something like that. Something even more egregious. I remember
very vividly us in our shared Google Doc where we were planning our schedule for the podcast. You wrote wrap up spectacular and then you backspaced several times and attempted to add Kimber to the word in different ways and ended on Kimtacuber.
And here it is now for your listening pleasure. It is a look back down the path that we have walked, the neon footprints in the sand, remembering the nightmare that was.
And now, you know, Joe, when there was only one set of footprints, that was Gem carrying you and me.
I am one half of the Gem team here. My name is Joe.
I am Kristen.
And we watched all of Season 1 of Gem and the Holograms via Shout Factory's Gem and the Holograms Truly Outrageous Complete Series box set, as well as the wonderful world of Netflix. And Kristen, do we need a Netflix update?
I haven't checked, so gosh, I could not tell you.
Well, let's assume that it's still there, and if it's not, we're going to be in for a pretty rude surprise, rude awakening.
At least we got to finish Season 1.
Hey, there we go. Now, you may be asking what the Kimtacuber is, given that it's not a very indicative title, and it's not a real word, which, as Kristen was so kind to point out, I wrote spectacular and then tried to shoehorn the word Kimber into it.
And I think you succeeded.
Yeah, I think it flows at least pretty well, and it's basically as such. It is the very best and the very worst of Gem Season 1, and it's weird because, we'll get into this. We'll get into character discussion and things like that. I feel like, we have added traits to almost all of the characters in the series.
What?
Kimber's gotten it the least, probably.
Yeah, I think Kimber is a kind of come as you are. She's Kimber. She doesn't really need extra things.
Maybe that's the problem. All the other characters have so little going for them that Kimber and Gem are like the only ones that actually you can tell what their personality is.
Very easily the most developed hologram.
Which is weird.
Yeah, no contest whatsoever, because Jerrica and Gem are just kind of in a constant, spin out in the middle of the road, bonking into things, pinball machine style, just getting worse and worse and worse. Well,
I believe you've said before, they have active detriments that keep them from being better characters, Gem and Jerrica do, being the same person.
The plot prevents interesting things from happening to Gem and Jerrica, which is sad, because interesting things could happen, but they never do. You
only get those little teases of is somebody going to find out? And then they don't, so it doesn't matter.
And the occasional episode where Jerrica goes crazy.
But you know what? We'll get into our discussion here. It's just we've got a few things we need to cover, and we've got our award categories. This is it's the music awards we never got, is the Kimtacuber, I guess.
Basically, we're going to freestyle it and see how it goes. We got some stuff planned.
Yep, it's going to be good, and let's just play the theme song here for you, and we'll come back starting off the Kimtacuber.
So have we gotten a chance to ever, you and me, sans podcast, talk about, just sit down, Season 1 of Gem, how do we even feel about it? I don't think we have.
No, I don't think we have, which, it's hard to tell because a lot of these decisions I tried to stay within the context of Season 1 as far as my opinions of things, obviously, since we've seen Seasons 2 and 3. Now, Season 1 altogether, I think it definitely had, other than the bad animation of the first few episodes, it had a decently strong start, I think.
Yeah, I think, honestly, the Starbright episodes were the peak.
Yeah, that's probably
and it kind of flatlined after that.
Well, this is where we start getting into episodes that aren't written by Christy Marks, where it's just kind of it's doling out to generic, comic writers for hire and people that Hasbro worked with and stuff.
Write the cartoon!
Yeah, write the cartoon. The 3 Starbright episodes are pretty great, And then we get the World Hunger Shindig, which
Yeah.
is a mess of an episode.
Yeah, then you kind of go, oh no, because, like, looking back and me staring at season 1, it's weird to not think of Gem in the scope of an entire series for once. For me, just looking at season 1 and being like, wow, I don't think I like season 1 very much.
It's got a lot of good episodes, I think, though. I feel like it's kind of 50-50 for me.
Yeah,
where,
definitely. Whereas I think season 2 and 3 are pretty consistently amazing.
Consistently amazing in terms of both being good and being good to make fun of. Not like there were too many, like, legitimately painful moments to get through in season 1, though. I mean, obviously we had a few moments in Adventure in China and the occasional things that just make you go like, ugh, which is bound to happen again.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think there wasn't too much we were still able to make fun of it, even when it was bad.
Yeah, I think season 1 suffered the most from being just a little bit too mediocre.
I mean, altogether, I think it's a solid 6 for me, 6 or 7 out of 10.
I can make a place in my heart for Gem season 1.
Yeah. So one of the things that I want to take a moment to talk about here as well. Now, I don't know how much have we referenced the Gem Bible, because I know it's something that we've talked about as well. I don't think it's something we've talked about really on podcast.
Yeah, I feel like we might have never even mentioned the Gem Bible on the podcast.
So the Gem Bible, for those who don't know, is basically, it's the writer's guide. It's what a writer needs to know when writing an episode of Gem and the Holograms, written by Christy Marks. I found out recently that the Shout Factory DVDs actually came with on the bonus disc, because when you get DVDs and it's like DVD ROM content, and you're like, who the fuck gives a shit about DVD ROM content?
Yeah, I'm gonna put this DVD in my computer.
Apparently, and I wish I had known this earlier, because I would have taken to it a bit more, I think, used it for more references. There was a section, I don't know if it's the entire Gem Bible, but there's like a 26-page section of the Gem Bible, like a PDF of it on the Shout Factory DVDs, as well as like a licensing guide, a merchandise guide, and like a bunch of other cool shit that has like all of the really cool art on the toys, as well as like pictures of the toys.
Really cool stuff in there.
Yeah, I was fucking blown away, honestly, when I saw it, because I don't know too much about the Gem toys. I know that they, like, basically Glitter and Gold was pretty much the last Gem stuff that they came out with, and I had heard, like, oh, they were gonna do Rock and Romance Gem, and the fucking Stars and Stripes Gem, or whatever that one is called, and other people in, like, Season 3, and I didn't know that the merchandise guide had, like, 1988 in there, when, the year that they did not produce Gem toys, and they had, the prototypes of them, I guess. I mean, they looked like what was going to be sold, like the final product, and I thought that was pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, it's always weird whenever I actually get a chance to see the Gem dolls. I am struck by how ugly they are.
They're a little weird. I feel like a lot of them have anime heads. Their heads are a little too big.
Their proportions are all wrong. Rio looks like a 13-year-old wearing his dad's clothes.
That's the other thing. I mean, just in general, for being a doll in the 80s, I don't think the outfits, I mean, at least for Rio, the outfits weren't terribly, they were very baggy, a lot of them looked like.
Yeah, it's hard in that era to think, like, I don't know, we got the single boy doll, we got our Ken here, how the hell do we dress him?
And a lot of them seemed pretty much just like, basketball shorts, make it look like he's going to the yacht club.
And he had hair too. Short hair is not easy on dolls. Like, I don't know how much you remember, Joe. Whenever I had like one Ken doll growing up, I think guy had plastic hair.
Yeah, he did. That is correct. And Rio does not.
That was in the 90s, so I think they learned their lesson pretty quickly about anything that isn't fairly long.
Honestly, the Rio doll kind of has like the Nick Cage bird hair in like Raising Arizona Nick Cage kind of hair. It just looks very poofy and
she does look like that.
kind of crazy, really.
Yeah, it's not a great look, which is even more jarring because the illustrations of Rio are hot.
They make him very handsome. They do.
Yeah, something got confusing. In the Gem Bible, doesn't it say, like, if the words tall, dark, and handsome ever applied to anyone, it would be Rio.
Which,
like, fuck off, Christy Marks.
we could talk about that too. Part of some things in the Gem Bible, I guess, didn't translate very well, even when Christy Marks was writing the episodes, I think.
Yeah, did you know that Aja is Jerica's best friend?
That was the big sticking point for me. I mean, you know us. I think we are. The Can We Talk About podcast has been campaigning for Aja, basically, for a series that ended fucking 30 years ago almost. We're just be like, give this character more time. She deserves better than this. Aja has all these informed attributes that we never really see in the series, where it's like, oh yes, Aja's Jerica's right-hand girl, basically, like they're as close as can be, where it seems like it's the relationship that Jem and Kimber have almost, even though I know, or Jerica and Kimber, since they're sisters, but like, Aja seems like she should be way closer to them than she is, where her and Shayna are just kind of lumped in as just like, we're here too.
Yep. Also us, and, at this point in the series, we don't know that Aja grew up with Jerica and Kimber.
Right, it does say that in the Gem Bible of, like, it was, Aja got in pretty early with the whole foster thing, but it took, I believe Shayna was probably, like, a teenager, I think, or, like, 12-ish by the time she got to there.
Yeah, Emmett and Jackie Benton were basically her mother and father, too. Or father and mother, if I'm ordering it correctly.
Right. As well as that, it also says, like, Aja's a bit of a gearhead. She loves working on cars and stuff. It's like, well, if she loved fucking working on cars so much, where was she in the Indy 500 episode?
Yeah, since when, Gem Bible?
But then we gotta blame whoever wrote Intrigue at the Indy 500, who I forget who it is already, so...
Some terrible person.
Some terrible person. Another thing, I mean, again, it's the 80s. There was, a very... Reading about Shayna in the Gem Bible... There was one thing that kind of stuck out for me where the relationship between Shayna and Kimber, where it was like, oh, Shayna's like Kimber's Earth Mother, in quotes, and I'm like, what?
Don't say that. She's a person, and I'm assuming only like a few years older than the main holograms.
Not even. Shayna's probably the same age as Jerica and Aja, and I believe that the Gem Bible states that Kimber's like 3 or 4 years younger. Not even.
Yeah, it does. The ages still confuse me.
Yeah, but just the way that it works is, as well as the relationships that go with Kimber, Jerica tries to be big sister to Kimber, obviously. Aja doesn't want any of that shit, and for some reason it's there that, like, if Shayna asks Kimber to do anything, she'll do it. Okay, like...
That never gets acted on.
And I mean, it's got a lot of great information in there. I just wish that it acted on it, like you're saying. I wish it was more at the forefront and not...
The Gem Bible feels like it's explaining itself, basically. It's saying, well, this is why things happen like this in the series. But people don't get the Gem Bible. Like, we found it however many fucking years later.
Yeah. As well as, I know that, it gives the reason for Gem not wanting to give her identity away as, one, it's the whole thing with Rio, where it was basically, they're framing it as it was an accident, and she's been holding on to the identity too long to where if she reveals it to Rio, she's afraid that she's gonna lose Rio's love, which, okay, whatever. The second one being it would reveal Synergy's identity, which would, like, I mean, I think they said this before in one of the episodes where Synergy could be used for evil or something, basically, right?
Yeah, basically. And like, the last thing it says is, like, oh, but also Jerica enjoys being able to still maintain her private life as Jerica without having Gem attached to her.
I mean, which,
Then
again,
say so!
Understandable as well. Also that it might have created a conflict of interest or something with the Battle of the Bands, with her being the main singer. As well, for some reason, let's talk about Techrat for a second here. For some reason, the Gem Bible frames Techrat as, like, a big secret. Like, the holograms shouldn't ever know who Techrat is, or, like, interact with him ever, which is one thing where I don't know if that's ever the case. I don't know if they ever speak to Techrat, even.
Yeah, because, like, as the series rolls out, it always kind of more came from the perspective of, like, oh, well, they just happen to never come across Techrat. Like, what are the holograms going to talk to Techrat about? Shayna gonna give him new clothes? Aja gonna fix cars with him? No, probably not. But then later the singers start hanging out with him, so...
Well, I mean, as far as the Gem Bible goes as well, it only has updates for Season 2 characters in it, for our super secret new Season 2 characters.
Uh-huh. One of which is awful.
I wanted to talk about some of the stuff in the Gem Bible about that character, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So I wanted to bring up as well here, Kristen, as it turns out, I mean, I know we talked about the dolls a little here for a second, but I'm just going to take a moment to brag.
About your haul?
About my haul, where very recently...
Your $20 haul?
Very recently, I came into possession for 20 smackaroonies, a mint in box glitter and gold Rio, and it's got the cassette and everything in it. And this is how I know of how a lot about his poofy Nick Cage hairs, because I mean I'm looking right at it, and he's kind of looking back at me, and I don't like it, honestly.
He is real looking at you like he knows we talk shit.
I think so. I want to make a note as well. He comes with like gold sunglasses, and I mean I can't see them in the box, but I feel like I seen them both as like solid plastic and like hater blockers as well. So
Joe, I just realized what I'm gonna get you for Christmas.
What are you gonna get me?
I'm going to go to a Toys R Us or a toy store or something that has miniature doll furniture, and I'm gonna find you a potted plant. And you're gonna put it right next to your glittering gold Rio.
Perfect. I was gonna say, because I'm not taking him out of the box.
No, that's fine. It could just accompany him. It's from the same episode.
Yeah, you're right. There you go. Perfect. So that's just our little, just catching up, little kind of discussion here about Gem that we have going on. One of the other things we wanted to put into the Kimtacuber here, a lot of times, as you know, we limited ourselves to one song an episode, which means some good ones got kind of left behind, and we want to take...
It was easier to pick for some episodes than others. Sometimes we were like, oh man, but I really like that one.
That's what we're finding out here, basically, is we're going to just give some of the other songs a little bit of love.
Rectify that situation.
Yep, so we're going to be doing some best and worst categories soon, talking about that. And in order to transition over to that, we're going to go with a song from the lovely episode In Stitches, a Misfits classic that we missed over, Designing Woman, written on the cassette as Designing Women. But we'll be playing that for you right now, because it's a good one. Let's start with the Misfits, Kristen. They would be good characters to talk about.
Yeah, I think that's where we get some of our best material for the podcast, in fact.
Well, here's where I wanted to talk about giving characters attributes, where basically we have turned Pizzazz from screaming devil woman into immortal Eldritch screaming devil woman, basically.
Actually Satan, Mortal Kombat character.
And it's weird because you'll listen to the first episodes and it's like, oh, you know, Eric looks like the devil here. He's got devil horns. But that quickly shifted right over to Pizzazz to where she's the devil now.
Yeah, Eric's not that evil compared to Pizzazz. So she kind of got the... And to be fair, a lot of the no good in taking place is kind of on her lap at a lot of points. Eric's not a good person.
No. No.
But he's more like one of Pizzazz's minions.
Even though Eric's supposed to be like the big bad guy, it's just, yeah, Pizzazz ends up taking the helm most of the time with a lot of just the more evil things, I guess.
Mm-hmm. One of the things I was thinking, too, when it came to the Misfits in Season 1, is Roxy is kind of as much of a non-entity as Shayna and Aja are.
Almost to the point, I mean, even Stormer barely gets anything. She may as well be invisible in a lot of episodes.
Yeah, Stormy at least has a couple of things that kind of separate her from Pizzazz and Roxy, where you see her character traits, that she's like a better person than them. Right. But Roxy's really like tag-along Pizzazz.
Roxy, what does she even get? She gets the prank call to Shayna and In Stitches, and is that it?
It's like she might be just a little bit more confrontational than Pizzazz, and that's about it.
Which is weird, considering Pizzazz will rumble at the fucking drop of a hat, usually.
Oh yeah, but Roxy is like, no. Instead of making a plan to do this, how about I just call Shayna? and threaten her over the phone. And everyone's like, great idea, Roxy.
And I mean, I guess you're right that Stormer finds her footing more in season 2, I believe. She is a lot more focus compared to, I mean, Roxy gets an episode. I don't know how much she really gets in total.
Yeah, Stormer definitely gets a lot more. Pizzazz gets a little bit more, so there is more development to come.
Right, so Pizzazz will continue to be a screaming devil woman in our hearts and
Absolutely.
in our mind's eye, that she is the Sky and such. Now, I think the character that we assigned the most traits to was probably Bonnie.
What, you mean she's not a blind undercover kid cop?
Who also is just tagging along with running away from home because she wants to.
She has nothing better to do, she's bored all the time.
And making her leave the house immediately after she gets the surgery, going, so long, suckers.
Later, and she drives off on a Harley.
Oh, so now she's
Vroom,
Jeff
vroom.
Stuntman, too.
Yes, she is. That's weird. Kimber's been dating Bonnie in a trench coat.
Bonnie has been on Ashley's shoulders, and that's actually been Sean Harrison.
You know what? That makes him much more interesting than the series did a job of.
Fuck, I just confused him. I called him Sean Harrison. That's the other boyfriend.
Oh no, Jeff Stuntman.
Sean Harrison is just Deirdre and Leela on each other's shoulders in a trench coat.
Kimber is so stupid.
And Chrissy is just there with her arms crossed like, I can't believe one, Kimber is so stupid, and two, that my orphan brethren would stoop this low.
That they're this bored, really. Yeah, Bonnie's great. I think the thing with Bonnie is that she is so, like, soft, does not cause any problems, that when she's in a scene, she's like a blank slate. She's a palette for which we paint upon.
Essentially, I mean, and it helps that she had the entire going blind angle to help inform a lot of our decisions about her, basically.
And we've seen in the Gem Jam that she gets crazy emotional occasionally.
Jumping into lion cages and things like that.
Just things like that, rational decisions.
As you do when you're a child and you want to know who your father is as a red-headed American male.
I think as far as like other orphans go, Ashley has just kind of become an amalgam too.
I don't know if we do much more with Ashley other than just call her the cheat, though.
Yeah, because she's not a bitch anymore.
She has moved on from just being, she still has some of those tendencies, I think. She's definitely lessened her bitch power, I think, but she's just really, we just see her with that yellow polka dot thing on, and it's just like, yeah, she's the cheat. That's our gateway into making more Homestar Runner references.
Basically, yeah. So, do we have anything else we want to add for the Eric Raymond family? Because I think we kind of fucked them up.
I was going to say, is that the most prominent thing we've done? To the point where I don't remember what I was doing. I think I was just watching some episode back and writing something about it, and I was like, wait a minute, Zipper isn't really Eric's son, is he?
Nope. I'm trying to think. Yeah, it was from the World Hunger Shindig, when Eric is on the phone with Zipper, and Zipper calls him Pops, and I joked that meant that Eric was his dad, and you were like, we're really doing this? And then we did the whole thing.
And then of course, I made the joke about Tech Rat being his son as well, and then you were like, is that where we're going with this? And that's where we... Damn it.
Yeah, we wrote it all the way.
And that's how it's going to be continued to be written, even though Zipper is now R.I.P., not in our hearts anymore.
Yeah, and it's sad that, like, to reflect on characters and everything, I'm gonna level with you, Joe. I don't think the series loses much with Zipper not being there anymore.
I mean, he lives on through all of the various hired hands and fucking, like, the skulls and shit like that.
Exactly, like, if he remained for the entire time, wouldn't we have started asking, when the fuck does Zipper go to jail? He can't be the one guy doing illegal shit for Eric constantly.
I think that's probably what happened, is somebody took a look at Zipper and was just like, is this guy ever gonna fucking go to jail? Why don't we just have a bunch of, like a sailor with an eye scar that we can hire instead?
Yeah, it doesn't seem like very fair in a children's cartoon that Zipper gets to keep messing with people in ways that should make him go to jail, and he never gets to.
Unless he's got fucking superpowers or something, and he's just a dude who's really good at pole vaulting between gondolas.
And climbing.
Well, that's, again, climbing is an attribute that is shared by all of the bad guy characters in this show.
Yeah, I guess that we can assume that he probably managed to scale a fence and get out of prison anyway. He's out there somewhere jumping across more gondolas.
he'll be a disguise in one of the episodes. It'll just be Zipper in disguise, one of the hired hands.
I'm back.
You missed me, Pop.
It's Brittany, bitch.
It's been so long since I've done the Zipper voice, I don't know how to do it.
I'm trying really hard, but it kind of hurts.
And, I mean, I guess we gotta deal with Tech Rat from now on, which, I mean, I don't know even how much Tech Rat has prominent roles in the rest of the... I mean, he's around, obviously.
Just whenever they need a thing. Whenever the Misfits need to do something ridiculous, he's there. So we haven't had quite as much of a chance to mangle Tech Rat, so look forward to that in the future.
Now, as well, was Zipper a little redundant when they have Clash, who's less threatening and can do probably the same things?
Well, like I was saying, Zipper does, like, actual horrible illegal things, whereas Clash just makes mischief.
Just fucks with people for no reason.
Yeah, she's just kind of an in-your-face annoyance, where Zipper was, like, behind the scenes, being a star athlete with real good abs.
Now, I want to know, Kristen, we have turned Clash into a ghost created by Video's Hunger Pangs.
That doesn't sound right. I think that's canon. I'm pretty sure we didn't make that part up.
I want to know, are we going to ride that out? Because that was just, I don't know where the fuck that came from. I joked that Video was left in the closet in Culture Clash, or no, in Old Meets New, I think, and they just got her out and was just like, here, we got to film something for us.
Wasn't it me who said that Clash was a vision?
Essentially,
hallucination of videos, yeah. So, I don't know, I guess I think the very first time she showed up, I referred to Clash as a monster driving a car, so...
I believe you did, and I mean, it's apropos. Clash is a fucking terror beast almost on the level of Pizzazz, if not like some sort of weird Loki trickster god fucking just horrible, terrible thing.
Yeah, Clash is difficult because she doesn't have any redeeming qualities, and she's not talented. So she's kind of the shitbag who hangs around.
Could she possibly be then the worst of the bad guy people? Because at least all of the other bad guy people fill a role. Like Pizzazz is charismatic at least.
I think Eric's just a pretty bad person too, because he gets out of shit because he has money. He's just an awful person.
That's true. That's very true.
Clash has, lofty goals of getting in with the Misfits. Eric just wants to have a lot of money and power.
And somehow he crosses paths with Gem and the Holograms at every opportunity.
Yep, there is white whales.
Is there really much we could talk about with Video and Anthony Julian and a lot of the smaller holograms side characters?
I think we just determined that both Video and Anthony Julian are way too into art to the point where they're kind of a little bit weird. Weirder than you would think at first glance. Again,
that really only happens in Culture Clash. I don't know if that comes up again of them being like, oh, look at this, we're hot on the art scene. They don't act like terrible and yuppie like Eric does again.
Oh yeah, definitely not. Video shows up, as far as I can remember, a couple more times, but never actually really does much, though the Father's Day episode is my favorite!
So what else is there to say about the holograms, really? Because I think they're the only sort of characters that we haven't really hit on yet.
I feel like we interpret them pretty straight, aside from just acknowledging that Aja and Shayna might as well be cardboard cutouts.
Some of the time, yeah. Actually, if we can backpedal real quick, what the fuck's going on with Lindsay?
Lindsay seems like she probably struggles with most inner turmoil of any person on television. Because I remember in the Gem Bible, it says, Lindsay doesn't particularly like the Misfits, but she needs to keep getting those hot scoops of the music scene.
Right, that's basically, she has to compromise her morals just so she could keep her ratings up by covering the Misfits.
Yep, so I feel like Lindsay has a lot, she needs to talk with her demons.
Talk with that devil on her shoulder that is Pizzazz. Also, it's almost shocking how different Lindsay... I mean, we talk about how Lindsay changed her look to the leg warmer kind of curly hair with the headband. It's pretty crazy how different she looked compared to the first few episodes in that initial when they were on her show and Pizzazz smacked her in the face.
Yeah, I do think that was a transforming experience for her.
She changed her look completely.
She was just like, that's it! New Lindsay!
I'm gonna put a hyphen and then a Z, and that's my name.
I'm starting over.
Oh, but okay, so I think we got all of our characters here. I'm sure that we missed somebody. I mean, fuck it, we'll get to it. So I think it's time that we move to our first award section of the evening, which is the best and the worst characters, respectively. We do have some submissions here from, I say fans in air quotes, it's really friends and stuff in.
Fans and friends.
Fans and friends. I'll start off. I've got my good friend M1 who sent something in. He's a speedrunner man. If you're into speedrunning at all, he does that. He's a cool guy. Now, his favorite, I don't know if he specifies his favorite character, but he definitely says that his favorite hologram is Shayna because of the episode of In Stitches.
I can kind of get that. Like, upon reading that email, I felt the passion.
Yeah, you really can. Calling her a goddamn alpha, mostly because of how angry she gets at Eric with the stolen designs and shit like that.
Yeah, that was a pretty good episode for Shayna. It's been so long, like, when I do look back on In Stitches, I kind of see more value in it now.
I mean, it's as far as, like, character-based episodes that we have in Season 1, it's probably the best one.
Oh yeah, because, like, what else do we have to pick from? 50 Kimber episodes?
Oh no, love triangle. Jem wins the Indy 500. What?
I'm a princess, but I'm not. Or am I?
No, we have another email there, Kristen. Does that email say anything about favorite characters?
Yes, we do. My good friend Schmadeline sent an email in as well.
Friend of the podcast.
Friend of the podcast. I don't know if this particular incarnation has ever been on the show. I think Madeline is the name of the person that's usually on episodes with us. But she wrote in that her favorite characters are Stormer, Kimber, and Zip Zap.
Stormer, Kimber, and Zipper. Pretty good lineup, I think. I gotta look at my own rankings now for best characters. We probably should have did this backwards to where we're doing worst first and then best. But I guess, I mean, we'll probably be in agreement with best and we'll yell and dispute worst and worst shit going on. Because I have a few. I probably should have, like, ranked them. But Zipper, Pizzazz, Bonnie, and Ashley are favorites basically due to the qualities that we put onto them, as we talked about before.
Our fictionalized depictions of them.
Even then, normal Pizzazz is definitely up there as a favorite character, just because, I mean, every time she screams, I love it. It's a little more, it's just like, it's music to my ears.
Yeah, so I wrote a little thing because Pizzazz is definitely one of my favorite characters as well. She is great because her character traits get defined very aggressively and very quickly, so she always behaves like exactly like you would expect that she did. We spent so much of the first season asking why the fuck Jerrica does certain things, and we never ask why Pizzazz does things. We know why she does.
That's a really good way to put it, actually. That's something I never really thought about, is... things that Pizzazz does in the series don't seem out of character because it's just like, that's what she does. She's
like a weird, mean person who hates Jem and the holograms, wants to mess with them, but doesn't seem to actually want to kill them. Like, and that you laugh, but she has that nice side to her that comes out very occasionally, where she was like, saved them in the jungle, didn't let them get blown up by a bomb.
Yeah, I mean,
I think she likes having rivals.
I think you're right. It's probably a lot of what she's living for at this point, even though she ends up on the shit end of the stick more often than not.
It just makes her hunger deeper and deepen.
Deeper in.
Both of those.
Now, I think overall my favorite character, and again, it's hard to keep this within the scope of season 1, but my favorite character from the series is Stormer. I think altogether.
Me too. I was looking at this list again, and I was like, can I say Stormer's one of the best characters in the first season when she's not really a character yet?
That's part of my problem as well. I had to put it in there anyway, because as much, like, Stormer had the mysterious lady moment, which I think is a favorite of mine.
They kind of run with that, don't they? That kind of becomes, like, that one moment. It influences a lot of her actions later in the series.
Basically, she goes out of her way to help Jem and the holograms when she knows that the Misfits are being too shitty.
I also appreciate when she does get chances to kind of be the focus. Stormer is a nice person, but she still doesn't take shit from anyone.
Right.
Like,
well,
when Roxy and Pizzazz aren't pushing her around, when she talks to holograms, she's like, "Hey, pop off."
I only let these people walk all over me. Goodbye.
Though the holograms aren't as aggressive, so it's easier to be sassy to them. Pizzazz and Roxy would leave Stormer in a ditch.
I do like how another thing coming back from the Gem Bible, I believe in the character relationships with Stormer. It's basically, I think we've said it before, where the dynamic is basically Pizzazz will use Roxy for something, and then Roxy will basically pass it off onto Stormer, and Stormer just has to do it.
It's like when they need to give Ashley money for the honor jar, Pizzazz asks Roxy for money, Roxy asks Stormer, and then later when they get that money back from Ashley, Pizzazz takes it. I think that sums it up perfectly.
I think you're right. There we go. The best character for me on the hologram side is Aja, even though she hasn't really done anything. I mean, I feel like Shayna would probably be the better choice here because at least, again, in Stitch's great episode, I gotta give it to Aja.
I feel like going just on season 1, I think, for me, Kimber's very easily the best hologram.
Even though she's
even
so
though I
dumb.
hate her and I have problems there.
Well, what does that show you? It's like, Kimber's my favorite hologram, even though I hate her.
I'm soon ready for Kimber.
And as an added bonus here, I don't know if it's just because of the impression you do of her, Kristen, but I really like the Countess as a character.
You know what? You're welcome.
Countess Danielle de Voussan, who is all fashion lady who shows up more often. I don't know if she has too much more prominence, but I always like when she's around.
She's like Lady Howard Sands. She's just benevolent, and she has a cool accent.
Yeah, you're right. Now let's move on to worst characters, Kristen. I think we're going to see a lot of... I said dispute earlier. I don't think there's going to be much dispute going on.
Yeah, who the hell do you think my worst character is? How about you guess, Joe? Why don't you fucking try me?
All right, 3 letters.
Yes, we're playing Hangman now. Okay, let's do it.
All right, Gem.
In spirit, I can see where you're coming from. However, you're wrong.
No, I'm just trying to be an asshole. It's Rio.
Yes. Okay, so real talk. When we started this podcast, I actually got worried when we were recording because I harped on Rio all the time. And I don't think at the beginning of the series you have enough material to understand why I fucking hated Rio so much. I was worried I would start to sound vindictive. But you get it, right?
I mean, I get it. I feel like I've softened on Rio a bit, actually, because I feel like a lot of it comes from what Jerrica is doing in the episode and like basically who's writing it. Like a lot of the shitty, stupid stuff Rio does is directly as a result of Jem or Jerrica.
That's true. So who is your worst character, Joe?
I have a few, actually. Rio being one of them, although I did say that, it depends on the writer, it depends on the situation. Dance just because...
Well,
again,
she's the
can't
worst.
base it on season 1. Dance is just boring as it stands, I would say.
Yeah, once we get to Renaissance Man, then Dance will be the worst.
Fuck.
Or Renaissance Woman, my bad.
I have Angus Bean coming in as a late addition because fuck that guy.
I have him as the worst one-off character.
That works because he's definitely... I don't ever want to see him again, and I don't believe we see him again, so thank God. But I believe that I think the winner, the one that takes the cake, is Jem and Jerrica because holy fuck. It's like you're saying.
I have a feeling you would say that.
Almost everything that we do in the series is questioned like, why? What? Why, Jem or Jerrica? Why are you doing that?
Why does every piece of drama that happens have to accompany us saying, but why though? Why are you doing that? Why did you say that? Why didn't you just do this? Why are you making it worse? Why are you lying to your boyfriend?
Now, as a result, I believe that makes Rio a worse character than Jem, but I can't really give it to Rio when it's not his fault.
It's difficult, isn't it? Because it's not his fault, but he still manages to be a shitbag.
You're right. No, you're right. I got to give Rio the benefit of the doubt a little bit, just because...
It wasn't Jem and Jerrica that made Rio hate deception, despise liars.
Nope, that's Rio's own thing, and kick potted plants and things like that, but I just believe...
Yeah, that's all Rio.
Right. I mean, then again... I can stand watching Jem and Jerrica. A lot of times when Rio shows up, I'm just going to be like, oh, fuck. So, I don't know.
Go away! What are you doing here? Go paint some lights!
When he showed up at the end of Hot Time in Hawaii, I was so fucking angry.
We don't need him there!
You're right! And that's another...
The episode wasn't heterosexual enough to begin with.
And that's another thing. Can we talk about for a second here the fact that we have attributed... Now, the Gem Bible basically describes Rio as... a catch-all, really good at sound engineering, really good at music producing and things like that. Why did we just assign
it? What did he go to college
for? How did we end up where it was just Rio does the lights?
I think it's because one day I literally Googled, and I think I posted it somewhere too. What the fuck does Rio Pacheco even do? Got the Gem Wiki, and he was the lighting engineer.
I guess so, but yeah, I like how he's also, through our qualities that we've given to him, seems to have light girlfriends and has become physically attached to certain lights.
I'm trying to think if there's a way for me to rhyme hose in different area codes, but with a word that means lights in there somewhere.
Lights in different areas of the house.
Yes, and he kisses them all goodnight. Just like that Shania Twain song. It doesn't impress me much. Like the guy who kisses his car. I really liked that song when I was little.
No, I believe me. I knew we had the CD. I'd probably listen to it a lot myself.
Oh, yeah.
One thing I did miss, I'm seeing, though, in the email from M1, that he refers to Tech Rat as his boy. So, I don't know if that means he really likes him, or...
See, interestingly enough, Madeline's worst characters are Rio, all of Kimber's interchangeable and sometimes overlapping boyfriends, and Tech Rat.
I mean, I feel like Tech Rat he's got a character for him. I don't know if I'd call him a bad character, though. It's just a lot of his worst traits are brought out because of pizzazz. It's almost the same thing going on with Jim and Rio.
I guess so. Wow, what a deep cut. And since we are on the topic now anyway, Madeline has also put that the worst location in the series is the rat hole.
I like the rat hole, honestly.
It's got a bad name.
I think it does. It has a terrible name. It has a terrible terrible name that we can make fun of. But I think as far as locations go, I don't even know what I would call the worst location in the series. Maybe if it counts, maybe the location jumping that happened in the Rock Fashion book that didn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah, I don't like the place with all of the tires. That was my least favorite location.
The Mirage Garage.
Yes, the Mirage Garage was my favorite location.
All right. So let's take a moment here. We got characters down. I think we're pretty much good there. Let's take a moment to talk about episodes as far as best and worst episodes goes. We'll take a moment here, maybe talk about some of the middling episodes. Kristen, what's the most average episode of season 1?
Oh, God. I feel like I would call the music awards really average.
Yeah, I mean, it's... So can I let you in on a little secret, Kristen?
We got some good content out of that.
We got some good content out of the music awards, but I put that as my worst episode of the season, honestly. Worst episodes.
What?
Because there's, I mean...
You liked Glitter and Gold more than the music awards?
It is more crime in my eyes to be boring and have stories that I don't care about more than be crazy and racist like some of the other episodes, and to the point of whatever the fuck was going on in Glitter and Gold. Yeah.
So what saved the Gem Jam then, I assume, is the Bonnie subplot.
Oh my god, of course, because the stuff with Chrissy and Dominic was okay. It was better than Deirdre and everybody running away from the thing and meeting the red-haired kid whose name I forget. And I mean, the musical, I mean, maybe it's just disappointment, sheer disappointment in the fact that the music awards technically don't really show up, even though it's called the music awards. And you gotta remember, Kristen, I fucking hate dance, so that informs a lot of this as well.
Oh, I know you hate dance. I know this is an irrational thing, because, to be honest, if you're going to hate dance, if we're talking about season 1, Joe, you have no fucking reason to hate her just yet.
No, I don't. You're right. I think When It's Only Me and the Music is fucking
dumb.
But I
respect your opinion.
As far as really average episode of the season for me, I know that you might think it's kind of garbage, Kristen, but I think In Search of the Stolen Album is stupid, but not so stupid that it's amazing, or it doesn't go far enough into stupid. There's just actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, there is a lot of way more stupid than I was expecting going on there. Maybe the Rock Fashion book should be my answer.
Yeah, the Rock Fashion book had redeeming qualities. It was really stupid, but I was kind of on board with it too. Yeah,
it did. And even though, you know, Pizzazz somehow buying the book and sabotaging it, even though her father bought it, I don't know, whatever. That's just Pizzazz being not thinking too far ahead, probably.
That part was just kind of sad.
But, I mean, yeah, so worst episode, as I said, mine was the music awards for those reasons. I mean, I don't know. Deirdre is just probably my least favorite orphan now because of the music awards, too.
Wow, you just used the phrase least favorite orphan.
What about you, Kristen? What's your worst episode of the season?
I have 2. My worst episodes are either Culture Clash or Broadway Magic.
You hate Broadway Magic? Are you fucking kidding me?
I hate Broadway Magic!
Oh my god, Broadway Magic's one of my favorites!
Have you watched that recently? Because,
yes!
Stormer writes a letter to Rio as Gem on a typewriter that comes out in cursive, and then they somehow get it to Rio after he's left and they haven't seen him, and Jerica just saw him, and then Gem is there too.
Kristen, everything you just described is one of the reasons
stupid.
I love Broadway Magic, because it's so fucking stupid.
Joe, how do we get to this point where there are certain things that we consider stupid that are good that we can't agree on?
I mean, I feel like this is kind of the divide that we have with Jack Take a Hike too, where it's like it's bad and it's supposed to be bad, and I know it's supposed to be bad, and you like it because of that, but I fucking hate it because of that.
See, and like I don't think Broadway Magic are good songs either, really.
Well, I mean, Broadway Magic is I like Broadway Magic as a song. I don't know if I'd put it like top 10 or anything. I like it there. I'm trying to think of what else is in that episode even.
It is. I was wrong.
What?
Who Is She Anyways in Broadway Magic.
Yeah,
That's one thing you have.
There you go.
Can't Get My Love Together and Broadway Magic are not great, though.
I like Broadway Magic, and I definitely like Who Is She Anyway, which of course we are saving, which won't be making an appearance on the Kimtacuber today, but we'll get there.
Okay, want to talk about best episodes?
Yeah, let's talk about best episodes, because I have here, in with Shayna being M1's favorite hologram, In Stitches was his favorite episode, and I do think In Stitches, again, as we said, very strong episode. I'd probably put it top 5, I think. I don't know if I'd make it my favorite, though.
Yeah, I'm not sure where I would like rank things, but In Stitches is a good pick. I cheated a little bit and said that the Starbright trilogy was the best of the first season.
The Starbright episodes are definitely good. I feel like there's more, because it's 3 episodes, there's a lot of stuff holding it back from being like, maybe it'd be better if it were 2 episodes? I'm not sure. But there's too much shit in it that's weird.
I feel like they have some time to address things that they usually don't.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, you heard me. I mean, maybe this is where, okay, so here's another good example of stuff being too stupid for me. So you're too stupid is the whole thing of getting the letter to Jem in Broadway Magic written by Stormer, comes out cursive on a typewriter.
That's one of the stupid things in that episode.
Hand gliding convention, things like that. The whole idea, maybe it's because I've taken film classes, maybe it's that the fact that the Gem movie and the Misfits movie were able to, like, the fact that they skip over editing almost entirely, and the fact that it was able to be edited and out on the exact same day is just way too much for me.
Well, I can't argue with your opinion on that, so you're entitled to it. You're wrong.
Understandable. Maybe that's, again, that doesn't cross the stupid threshold for me. I don't know. Maybe that's why.
What event happened in both of our lives as we were growing up that so clearly divided our stance on what is and is not stupid enough in a good way?
I don't know.
We were raised together.
Maybe that's requires some investigation. I'm not sure. But I'd say my best episode...
We have to go to therapy now.
My favorite episode of the season was Last Resorts, because I feel like it turns a lot of the stupid way up.
Yeah, I like, especially looking back, have gotten super fond of Last Resorts. I wanted to make sure I didn't actually say In Stitches, because I keep doing that.
I mean, again, In Stitches, good episode, but Last Resorts had all the great moments of getting attacked by a fucking bear in the mountains, a silver mine, a guy who's like even more evil than Eric, a good combination song, which is the only good combination song so far, by the way.
Clash is there. There's a lot of mountain murder. It's got everything.
It's got Roxy elbowing people in the ear, which led to Roxy's our informed attribute of Roxy MMA elbowing people.
Yep.
I just think in general it works. It works very well.
Yeah.
So the next section that we're moving to is actually, it's I guess the middle section of our time here. Kristen, you had an idea that I thought was gold. If you want to please explain it to the audience here.
Okay, so I've spent so much of this podcast complaining about the quality of the songs and saying that I could write songs for Gem, that I am putting my podcast money where my podcast mouth is, and I think Joe and I should attempt to, not to music because we are not that talented, but write lyrics to a Holograms and Misfits song each based on some categories that we came up with, and we will assign everything randomly, because I think we got this. If you're hearing this, that means it got into the podcast and we did an okay job.
And if you want, we'll just go one at a time here, reading off some of the categories of songs that we can write here now. The way that it's going to work, let me actually bring up Google real quick here. We're going to do a Google coin flip now. Would the Holograms be heads and Misfits be tails, Kristen?
Yes, so do you just want to flip and see which one you get, and then I will take the other?
Sure, I'll get you on coin flip here. Now just you call it and I'll let you know.
Heads.
It landed on tails, so Kristen, you lose, you get heads, which is the Holograms, I get tails, the Misfits.
I think this will be easier for me, so fuck you.
So now I'm just going to have to actually get out a random number generator, because we have 15 categories. We're going to go back and forth here, just reading them off if you like, Kristen. I'll start us off. So we will be writing a Gem or the Misfits song about the coal mine.
The Coliseum.
Naval warfare.
Throw down with Bobby Flay.
Online dating.
A D&D game.
High school graduation.
Anime.
The moon.
A bakery.
The Olympics.
An independent film festival.
An ice cream truck.
Jaywalking.
And the sewer. Kristen, if you get a hologram song about jaywalking, what the fuck are you gonna do?
I'm gonna write about how you shouldn't jaywalk because it's dangerous, Joe.
If I get a Misfits song about Throw Down with Bobby Flay, I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do.
I hope neither of us get that category. I just put it there because I thought it was funny.
So that's 15 categories there. Let me just bring up the random number generator here. Min 1, max 15. Kristen, if you please, give me a number between... Well, why am I saying give me a number between 1 and 15? I'm about to generate it right now. Here we go.
That's not how the random number generator works.
1, you got a Gem and the Hologram song about a coal mine.
Oh, god damn it.
Let me random generate my number here. I swear to God, if I get Throw Down with Bobby Flay. 14. I get a Misfits song about...
That's not fair! That isn't fair!
I get a Misfits song about jaywalking.
Fuck.
Oh, God. All right, so...
Well, okay, I guess.
We're going to put a song here for your listening pleasure. We're going to take a good 20 to go and write these songs, and by the time we get back, we are going to present our songs, Kristen's song about a coal mine by Gem and the Holograms, and my song about jaywalking by the Misfits. Here's in tone with the themed song. We have the famed song that we shit all over, Set Your Sails, from, what was this, Island of Deception was Set Your Sails?
Yes, it was.
All right, so here's Set Your Sails. We're going to listen to that, and when we get back, prepare for song.
Set your sails for adventure. Set your sails for romance. Set your sails for the dream of a lifetime. Give them a chance. Set your sails for the islands. Set your sails for the sun. Set your sails for that far-off horizon where we'll be one. Longing for land has been sighted. Our lips and our hearts will be united. Set your sails for the tropics. Set your sails for the sea. Set your sails for the rest of forever and spend it with me. Set your sails. Set your sails. Set your
And we're back. I think, I don't know about my writing, I think it went pretty well. One thing that Kristen suggested, basically right after we stopped, was to frame our songs around an episode. So I think my episode is stronger than my song, but I mean, I guess we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Yeah, we'll see, right?
So I think it's only right, this being Gem and the Holograms, if the holograms go first.
Yeah, I had a feeling that would happen. So, my Gem and the Hologram song, related to coal mines, is from an episode called All That Glitters.
Oh.
Right?
All right. Please tell me, what is All That Glitters about?
Okay, so Gem and the Holograms take an educational trip to northeastern Pennsylvania to see the coal mines. And perform at a benefit for families affected by black lung.
Oh my god.
Yep. So Eric and the Misfits attempt to steal actual diamonds that are inside the coal mine for some reason. It doesn't have to make sense because it's a cartoon. And my song plays at the end of the episode at the benefit.
All right, very good. What is the name of your song?
Diamond in the Rough.
Oh. That sounds very hologramsy.
I know, right? It'll get even more hologramsy in a minute. All right, so this is how it goes, and I hope I rhyme it well, rhythm-wise. I know that I'm not perfect, baby, but I hope that I'm enough. Imperfections are my strength. I'm a diamond in the rough.
Boo!
Fuck you!
This sounds exactly like a hologram song. Fuck.
I know, you're booing me because I'm so good at this. Glittering gold, silver that shines. You can't buy my love with them. Just take me as I am. You know I'll always be your gem. Uh-huh. We're almost done, don't worry. We'll work until we make it through. Even if it's all off the cuff, our love is fine the way it is, as a diamond in the rough.
Oh my god.
We'll never fold, even when it gets tough. We're a diamond in the rough.
Jesus Christ.
I did it!
I feel self-conscious about my song because I don't know if it's that good.
That wasn't good!
Well, that goes to show. All right, well, I thought I did a good job. All right, but that's, I believe,
Yeah.
you deserve some of that, definitely.
I wrote a fucking Gem of the Hologram song about a coal mine.
In 10 minutes, not even.
Yeah, please. I knew anyone could do this job.
So I had what seemed like the most gimme thing on the planet, a Misfits song about jaywalking, as you
I was kind
heard.
of hoping I would get a hologram song about not jaywalking.
Now, my episode that I framed it around is an episode called Parade Days,
Nice.
where Gem and the Holograms are invited to perform on a parade float for a local festival that the Misfits also happen to be attending. I don't have a reason for them to be there. They just are. Now, this would be the first song of the
Of course they are.
episode. This would be the first song of the episode. It is called Watch Your Step.
Nice.
The thing that is happening while this is going on is basically the Misfits are walking in front of Gem and the Holograms parade float, trying to fuck with
I
them.
like that.
trying to fuck with them, basically.
That sounds like something the Misfits would do.
And the end of the episode, I didn't write how it got there, but it ends at the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, where both Gem and the Misfits are on parade floats and they are racing each other,
Yay!
as if there's a prize for being the best parade float.
That's the holiday episode. I'm into it.
I was going to write that, yes, there would also be a something to learn about Thanksgiving, and because it's the 80s, it would be, they'd probably call them Indians. So, all right. Watch Your Step by the Misfits. Now, I don't think I built quite as good a rhythm as you, but I'll do my best here. So, okay. Make way, peons. The star is here. I'm well in stride, so you better steer clear. I'm on a mission, and my eye's on the prize. If I step on your foot, I won't hear your cries. Watch your step.
Dude, have you checked to see if your song is good in iambic pentameter?
Fuck it, I don't care.
No, I mean, like, it sounds like it could be some Shakespeare shit.
Watch your step, honey, watch your step. I'm a woman on the move. Watch your step, honey, watch your step. Ain't nothing you can do to throw off my groove. Lights and signs and lines on the ground mean nothing to me. I've got pavement to pound. Keep a lane open and keep it open wide. You can't find a force that can break this stride. Watch your step, honey, watch your step. I can't be bothered to stop. Watch your step, honey, watch your step. Because you know I'm going till I reach the top.
We nailed this.
I think this was a very good exercise, Kristen. You did well in suggesting this.
I think we proved the point I've been trying to make the entire time, and now no one can say, hey, write your own song. I did!
I wrote a Misfit song, and it's time for, here we go, Parade Days, and the whatever the name of your episode was, all the glitters. Fanfiction, here it goes, going out, fanfiction, Gem of the Holograms episodes.
Yeah, by the next Kimtacuber, the season 2 one, we will have full scripts out for these 2 episodes.
Please, no, please don't promise that.
We have, how many weeks to do it? Like, over 30? That's enough.
Oh, whatever. All right, so that was that little detour. I think it went very well. Let's get back into some of our, I say awards. They're not really awards.
I don't think it's an award if you're saying this thing sucked.
Because next that we want to talk about here is moments in Gem and the Holograms. I have just written in here as my guideline, just moments and then followed by best/worst moments, which I guess, how is it possible that we could talk about moments without regarding them as best or worst?
Yeah, true. I mean, there are certainly some standouts that, like, don't quite make it to, like, best or worst, like all of the horrible ski accidents that happen in Last Resorts. I think those were all kind of fantastic.
I think you're right. Yeah, a lot of us saying that, Aja getting basically torn in half when Clash hooked her belt to the tree. That's pretty rough.
Yeah, Shayna jumping along all those pieces of ice.
I think Zipper pole vaulting in the gondola is definitely a good moment. I don't know if I'd call it one of my favorite moments, though.
In the One Star Right episode where Jem falls into a table on a movie set and breaks her spine in half.
I'm noticing that a lot of these are injury related, I think.
Well, remember that time Rio got his hand caught in the door of a bus and then he had a hook hand?
Which that was that just something you said? I don't even remember if that was like, because it doesn't look like Rio gets his hand caught in the bus door,
No,
does
he
it?
doesn't. That was just a joke that I made. He was getting off of a bus during one of the music videos. I don't even remember which one it was. And my funny joke that I wrote was that his hand gets chopped off and then he has a hook hand.
And we had it so that Jem got her ear slashed off by the bear, right?
Yes. And Kimber doesn't have skin. And I think that's it. No,
Right.
Kimber has a peg leg!
And a peg. Why does Kimber have a peg leg?
Because of the explosion she got caught
Right.
in.
The explosions in the Starbright episodes, that's another good one. Just Pizzazz or Roxy or whoever pushing the special effects guy out of the way and just slamming buttons to kill
Yeah.
Kimber.
I think Stormer's fortune teller voice is a great moment.
I think that's a good moment too. Let me see if I put that in my, because I have a big list. If I had to choose just one best moment, it'd be really tough. But let me.
I have a very easy best moment.
Well, is it Rio kicking the potted plant?
No.
Oh, well, we'll get to that. I think in Island of Deception, there's a lot of falling down again of all of the holograms popping up to say surprise, and then the boat ending up like falling and pulling everybody into the water, as well as Kimber in the Rock Fashion book fall. I'm sorry, my mind just keeps going back to how it was presented of just all of a sudden Kimber just being like, all right, move, let me get through. Whoa!
The most improbable thing in the entire universe. And again, in the Rock Fashion book, that semi-apparently responsible man driving that golf cart that just starts bouncing all of a sudden and boinks up into the scaffolding that Jem and the holograms are standing on.
The best moment of animation in history, almost.
Absolutely.
I know you think it's stupid, Kristen, but the entire race back to the show in Broadway Magic of Jem like skateboarding in high heels and getting to a hang glider convention.
It was ridiculous, I will give you that one. Especially culminating to them seeing Jem get there and Pizzazz going, she's never gonna get here in time, she has to put on her costume, and then she shows up in her costume and Pizzazz is like, what?
Yeah, that's great. That's amazing. I have basically all of the Princess and the Singer. There's so much stupid good shit in the Princess and the Singer.
There's a lot of good shit in that episode.
As well as, of course, Pizzazz smacking Lindsay in the dome is another good moment, I think.
Yep, that's just visceral.
As far as my favorite moment goes, I think it might just be because it is something that I constantly reference before the podcast as a moment that happened in the show, and I'm sure everybody knows where I'm going with this. It is, of course, Kimber being left in the volcano in Hot Time in Hawaii.
I had a feeling that would be yours.
And what might yours be, Kristen?
My best moment is Clash telling Bonnie that her long-lost father is looking for her. Because that's the worst possible thing any person does in this entire first season.
That is amazing, I gotta say. I want to just put in here that from the email that I got from M1 talking mostly about In Stitches, his favorite moment coming from In Stitches he says that something that he wanted to note was he's fairly certain that they threatened Shayna's voice actress in real life because the scream that Shayna does between the first, like right before the first commercial break, which I'll edit it right in here. I'll just like right in there. That's not the sound a normal human makes.
That was a real person under severe stress.
As well as I gotta say, also in Stitches, when the handmaidens were laughing at Eric, and he just goes silencio.
Yeah, that was really good too. So Avery DM'd us on Twitter at cwtapod and wrote, "There's a moment in Last Resorts that I'm probably going to take to my deathbed. It's when Jem and Rio are stuck in the cave with the bear, and the bear is about to go chimp on Rio, but Jem snatches up the Gemstar earring and rescues him, but instead of something that would make sense, Synergy decides to turn Rio into this cackling tentacle yeti." Which, this is a moment we are very familiar with.
Yes, cackling tentacle yeti is definitely a very good way to put it, and that didn't make it onto my list of best moments. I thought about it, but I think it's just for some reason I was just like, nah, I don't think we need to mention that. No, but we should, yeah.
Oh yeah, and this goes even more in depth. Avery continues. First of all, the bear is like literally just offended by the thing, shocked at most because what? But the absolute worst part is how when the hologram fades, Rio just has this shitty smug look on his face like he accomplished something. So Avery asked, was he even aware that he was just screech giggling and flailing? Was that his actual strategy and Synergy just provided The visuals, it low-key ruined Avery's life.
Well, Rio ruining lives out there, as he is one to do. Indirectly, I guess, considering it was mostly Synergy's fault as well.
Yeah, Synergy, that was a major fuck up on her part. Avery also continues to say that the favorite part of season 1 is that in episode 17, when Eric looks poor and tired in that dilapidated building, which was one of the things that we loved too.
Yes.
Poor homeless Eric.
Poor homeless Eric being excommunicated out of funds from Harvey Gabor and from Misfits Music somehow. I don't know how it happened really, but a very good moment indeed.
Thanks, Jem.
Thanks, Jim. I also put as one of my moments, and this will be a good lead-in to the worst moments, Angus Bean initially jumping out and going "Auga, auga" with the mask on. Made me laugh.
Making that my worst moment.
Made me laugh so hard. But then my worst moments, the very first thing that I have is Angus Bean after that initial moment.
Yep, he's the worst. So what I have for my worst moment is in the Rock Fashion book, Rio jumps into the water twice in this episode with just his socks on.
That's your worst moment, really.
Yes, it's terrible.
I mean,
it drove me crazy.
It goes without saying that a lot of stuff is definitely bad. Like any love triangle stuff with Jem, Jerica, and Rio, any of, Jerica going to Synergy and saying, "I'm jealous of myself."
Now, that's a great moment.
But and normal stuff like most of the terrible stuff in Adventure in China and Gypsy Mama Pama Bama, terrible, awful.
Oh yeah,
obviously goes without saying, and as well
not as bad
not
as Rio jumping into the water with his socks on.
As well as I have here, of course, the sheer impossibility of the timeline of the Jem and Misfits movies editing and coming out on the same day and all that shit. So clearly that was one of my worst moments. Kimber's rebellion I have also as one of the worst moments.
The entire episode, or just
Kimber's rebellioning, just Kimber having a rebellion.
Yeah, I could see that. But
I gotta say, my absolute worst moment of Jem and the Hologram season 1 is Jem winning the fucking Indy 500.
Yep, makes sense.
I mean, fuck's sake. Like, for fuck's sake.
It was, again, for a series that constantly removes itself from reality very, very aggressively, that part sticks out so much as something that tries to be rooted in reality, and just everything goes wrong all at once.
I can't believe an episode like that was made. Jem wins the fucking Indy 500. Jesus Christ.
I know.
And again, I believe I said it in that episode. This is a series where eventually Jem and the Holograms in season 2 will travel through time. They will go to fucking Shangri-La. They end up in some fucking crazy lost city. Jem saves the fucking president's life.
Yep.
Like, none of that to me is as egregious as Jem winning the Indy 500.
Good to know. From my email from Madeline, dovetailing into mine, memorable moments, the time Rio wore his socks in the pool, and she specifies, and Kristen lost her goddamn mind over it. She said it showed how truly rotten his soul is. She also said when everyone died in the volcano, and it was revealed to be an extended orphan fever dream in the finale of season 3. And every single time Aja spoke, all 4 times.
I mean, did Aja really have any really good lines that we can remember here, even?
She doesn't really have her own, impact equivalent of Killer Whale's killer outfits.
No, she's got the sharps and flats, right?
Yes, but the impact wasn't the same. We would have heard that. We remembered Killer Whale's killer outfits while watching that episode.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, Aja has barely any one-on-one time with another character, I'm pretty sure, so,
Nope. Luckily, it's coming up for her in the first 2 episodes in 2, so...
Yeah, hey, that's good. I'm glad. So we've got moments. I think all that's left, really, that we can talk about is songs. And our lead-into songs, our lead-into song discussion, and the heavily lauded categories of bottom 3 and top 5 songs. Our lead-in here will be the song Jealousy, which is a great song that we missed because Universal Appeal is that much better.
Yep, so we could use Jealousy finally, and if you go on YouTube, the French version of Jealousy is very good.
Yes, as well as the French version of Universal Appeal. So
yes, it is.
You can even put links to that in the description, Kristen. Click, click.
Every place you go, everywhere you turn, someone else is moving in and they're making time, and it's getting underneath your skin. Whoa, whoa, doesn't it hurt? Jealousy, baby, doesn't it
So songs, Kristen. Now, obviously, we've got our top 5, we've got our bottom 3, and we've talked about, I think, at length of gem songs eventually going the route of just being way too episode-centric, but we didn't get too much of that in the first season.
Yeah, they actually tried to write actual songs, which I don't know if that was to their detriment or not, honestly.
Honestly, the next thing I was going to ask was, does that help or hurt the episodes? Because you've got something that's just like really whatever, like time is running out, like a song nobody would say is their favorite Gem on the Hologram song.
Yeah, exactly. Like when I was going through the season 1 wiki page, looking at episode titles and looking at the songs that were in the episodes, something is missing in my left.
Right. I don't remember what that song's about. I can't put a fucking beat to it. And that was the one that was in Broadway Magic, was it?
That was an Adventure in China.
Adventure in China. What the fuck? Oh, you're right. What was the one in Broadway Magic? Can't get my love together. I can't remember. I can't fucking remember word 1 of that song. And that song made Stormer cry.
Shows how memorable it was.
You
gotta be fast.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of kind of middling songs that are around. I think obviously the songs add a lot to the episodes, but sometimes it's just you kind of blank out during them.
Yeah, and let's be totally candid here as we start to go into eventually discussing our least favorite songs. When Madeline sent in her email for least favorite songs, she said every single ballad. And yeah.
Now, the only ballad that I really remember is When It's Only Me and the Music, if only for the music video of Dance Just Dancing in Space.
Yeah, that nonsense.
Just because of, yes, how stupid it was. And, of course, afterward, Dance being just like, was anybody here watching me dancing? Hello, I'm Dance.
Hi, here I am. And it's worth mentioning Madeline's other least favorite song was We're the Misfits in Hawaii.
Which, despite how much I love it, it did not get anywhere near my top 5 or bottom 3, so that's just a middling song for me, I guess.
It's very amusing.
It's a very amusing song is a good way to put it, I think. As far as, I mean, every band has to record a novelty song every so often, and Misfits in Hawaii is just that.
Oh yeah, definitely. So do we want to both share our number 3?
So number 3 for my bottom 3 songs is a song from Intrigue at the Indy 500. It is Back in Shape. I don't like Back in Shape at all.
I know you don't. Hook bothers you very much.
Yes, it does. It bothers me terribly.
So you want to know something funny?
Is that your number 3 as well?
No, but my number 3 is from Intrigue at the Indy 500.
Is it I'm Coming From Behind?
Yes, it is, because that song is ridiculous.
I don't know if I'd put I'm Coming From Behind as, I thought I put it on my best or worst moments as just something hilarious. Because obviously it's
hilarious, but it's a terrible song. It's like, I can't remember if we actually played it or not, but it's I'm coming from behind, watch out, behind.
I believe that was
That's not good.
The song in the episode, yes, but I think it's just about as good as You Gotta Be Fast. So a really kind of normal whatever.
The
song.
innuendo they didn't spot is what slotted it into number 3 for me.
Which is what probably brought it out of the bottom 3 for me, because definitely the innuendo helps it in my eyes.
Oh, I'm sure.
My number 2 of the bottom 3 songs, Click Clash from Disaster.
I had a feeling you would have that one.
And Click Clash, I think, it doesn't work. It doesn't work very well. The click part, the gem part is really good, actually. That's probably what makes it so low on my list, is the click part of, like, the gem and the holograms.
The Misfits ruin it.
The Misfits ruin it! They do! That's what it boils down to, is just, it's a pretty good song that the Misfits just completely ruin any chance of being good by going Clash!
Makes sense. So my number 2 is Love Unites Us from Adventure in China.
I kind of like Love Unites Us, if I'm honest.
It was like the cherry on top of everything wrong with that episode.
We come from different worlds, different points of view.
Goes out to Lynn!
I don't know. I understand.
Also, we had gong noises.
Yeah, okay. I could definitely see that. I think Love Unites Us is a pretty okay song. Again, nowhere near. At least as far as I could. I mean, maybe, I don't know. My number 1 might be controversial, Kristen, if you can't already tell what it is.
I have no idea. Is it Old Meets New?
It is indeed a song. It old beats new, and it is. Let's not forget the past. No, I'm lying. It is Jack Take a Hike.
It's the Cheers theme song.
Jack Take a Hike. I know I
I
know.
think it's been well documented why you don't like this
Or
song.
no, I know it's supposed to be annoying. I know it's supposed to be. They got me. They got me. I got annoyed, and also as well,
It broke you.
it broke me. And the mere fact that there was also the weird animation and like Stormer's weird striped onesie, like the stripes all changing shape and like flashing. What was your number one bottom three song, Kristen?
My number one is Set Your Sails around the Deception. Because
really-
fuck that song.
Do you really hate Set Your Sail that much?
It's mediocre, and it's a ballad. It's like, shut the fuck up about the boat.
Are you angry then that I put Set Your Sails in this episode? Because I don't think I ran that by you.
Oh no, I'm not mad about it. It has its place, especially as the mascot for our songwriting. But when I was trying to pick, like, you know, to be fair to Gem, there aren't any songs that I like hate.
Right.
Just things that I feel like I have reasonable critiques of, like Set Your Sails.
Right, fair enough. All right, that's fair. Before we get to our picks here, I just have that from M1's email, again, talking mostly about In Stitches here, that his two favorite songs that he put in come from that episode, being both Designing Woman as his second favorite and most favorite as It Depends on the Mood that I'm in, which I think are two lovely choices, because again, as we played it before, I like Designing Woman a lot. It didn't make my top 5, but it definitely deserved a spot being played on the podcast.
Yeah, both of those are perfectly good songs. Before we get into our favorite songs, Madeline has two favorite songs. One comes with an explanation. First favorite song is I Am a Giant by the Misfits.
Which, I mean, I'm surprised that that didn't end up on your bottom 3, Kristen, because I thought you hated I Am a Giant.
I think the main issue with I Am a Giant is that it ended up turning into those vor jokes that we made. And I regret doing that.
All right, oh, fair enough. I mean, I definitely used I Am a Giant as like a I don't like this song kind of song, but it's not as bad as the other 3 in my bottom 3.
Oh yeah, there's worse going on there. And Madeline's other thing is she likes the opening theme that says truly, truly, truly outrageous, and not the one that says me and my friends are gem girls, because fuck that one. It's clearly inferior, but still becomes the dominant song, and she hates it.
Oh, come on. I like the Gem. I can't say that I like them both equally, but I do like Gem Girls as a theme.
I know you do. Respect Madeline's opinion.
I do. I respect Madeline's opinion. Schmadeline's opinion, excuse me.
I'm sorry.
So, Kristen, let's get to the real meat and potatoes here. Top 5 songs of Season 1 of Gem. What is your number 5?
So I really think this is going to surprise you. My number 5 is I Believe in Happy Endings from Culture Clash.
Really? Wow.
That song kept getting stuck in my head.
And that one's like a ballad, too, isn't it?
Yeah, I
Kinda.
think it's the best ballad Gem kind of has to offer. The lyrics are totally fine, and it's kind of like a nice, encouraging song that isn't like so cheesy that it's like don't jaywalk, don't do drugs.
Yeah, it's a perfectly fine. It could be it could be a song.
It
could
feels
be-
nice to hear Britta Phillips in my ear saying that she believes in you, my friend.
And she believes things work out in the end.
Exactly. It has a message. So what's your number 5?
My number 5 is from Island of Deception, It Takes a Lot by the Misfits, which was a late entry because I thought I had my top 5 worked out for quite a long time, but this song fucking blindsided me, and I thought it was great.
Yep, I know you really like that one.
Yep, I mean, I feel weird because I feel like all of my answers really telegraphed or something.
No, I think just because we've discussed the list so much, that's why I know.
Okay, yeah, because I don't know if I know your top 5 as much, but
I think our very, very top ones are not going to surprise each other at all.
no, probably not. But yeah, It Takes a Lot, as well as good visuals in there and stuff too. I think just a really, it's a Misfit song that I think, as we said in the episode, it isn't pizzazz chanting, so it earns some extra points.
Yeah.
Kristen, your number 4, please.
My number 4 is You Ought to See the View from Here from Music Awards Part 2.
That's a good one. Okay, that's not my favorite Misfits song. I remember the animation being really bad in that one, actually.
I really liked that entire sequence that ends with the laser pistol. It hits all the right notes for me.
That is quite good. You know what? I forgot all about the laser pistol part. That might save the Music Awards from being the worst episode in my eyes.
There you go, Jim with the mustache.
So
what's your number 4?
Well, I gotta say, I really like as well with the beginning of You Want to See the View from Here, just the bit 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 that beat at the beginning. I like that. My number 4 from the second Starbright episode, it is Congratulations by the Misfits.
Yeah.
I really like Congratulations a lot.
It was really hard for me to deal with not finding a place for that on my top 5.
It's the perfect Misfits song. It's just so good.
Congratulations to me.
Congratulations to me is all you need to know about the Misfits, I think.
I think so too.
Kristen, your number 3, please.
My number 3 is She's Got the Power for Battle of the Bands.
That's a really good one. That was in my top 5 for a very long time, although It Takes a Lot did bump it out, so I will say that don't be surprised if you don't see it on here, because
Aw.
it's gone. I mean, as much as I love Synergy, and as much as I remember being really angry, and I may have mentioned it in the episode, that they used She's Got the Power in season 3 for A Magician Girl, and I was like, that's Synergy's song, don't do that.
Yeah, I think it says a lot about how this podcast has kind of changed our perspective on some things when it comes to Gem, because I feel like if before we did this I asked you what like one of your favorite songs was, you would have said She's Got the Power.
Yeah, it's really good, and as well as the visuals are fucking top notch of Kimber on a camel in the desert, and the weird like Roman column thing, and Synergy in like kind of like shadowy from the front coming down and like pulling out a fucking fire bow and arrow. Oh my god.
Yep. It's all perfect.
My number 3, Kristen, It Depends on the Mood I'm In from In Stitches. Really like the song, really good. I don't know what I can really say about it other than I really, really like it.
I think that's a good pick. If I was kind of trying to feel out how I felt between that and She Makes an Impression, because when I went back and was looking at doing my list, I really like She Makes an Impression too.
Yeah, both are good. You know what? I'm sad that I missed that, because I would have put She Makes an Impression in this episode, because or no, did we play She Makes an Impression? I think we may have.
You wrote the thing.
Fuck it, whatever. No, not in this episode, but in the episode that
in that episode. Oh, I don't know.
Okay, well, we must have, because I remember that being a good song, and if we didn't, I'm sorry. So here's the thing, I don't remember the own podcast, even though I edit it. Whatever. Kristen, I think from all the discussions we've had, our number 2 and number 1 are going to be either exactly the same or very similar. Kristen, your number 2, please.
I think I'm gonna say they're exactly the same. My number 2 is Truly Outrageous. What episode is that from? Hang on.
That is from Frame Up.
Yes, it is.
And my number 2 as well is also Truly Outrageous. Kristen, I was writing my notes at like 1 a.m. last night, and I was staring at the top 5 songs. I listened to both my number 2 and my number 1, Truly Outrageous, and my number 1 pick about 2 or 3 times, and I'm like, I was debating on making them both shared number 1, because I can't fucking choose between Truly Outrageous and the number 1 pick, because Truly Outrageous is, I mean, it's the theme, but it's a better version of the theme.
Yeah, it's the perfect hologram song.
And it's very catchy, and I think about it all the time, and it's a great song, which I guess
Princess Gem Lovebird.
Princess Gem Lovebird, which brings us into our number 1, which I believe we could probably say it at the same time here, even though we're probably on a bit of a delay, so that's not a good idea.
Let's see how it goes.
Okay, 3, 2, 1... Universal Appeal. Yeah, there we go. We were slightly off kilter there.
I almost said the French version.
L'univers à mes pieds.
Univers je m'appelle. And that is from Starbright episode 1, Falling Star.
That is from Starbright episode 1, yes. Universal Appeal, which I believe we gushed about in the episode itself as great. Universal Appeal, it's, again, it's very difficult for me to... I also debated, because I was fairly certain you were going to put Truly Outrageous and Universal Appeal as a 2 and 1 respectively as well, and I was debating on switching them just for the sake of conversation.
So they both win?
So they both win, basically, yeah, because I think they both deserve it, but we're not going to get a Misfits song as good as Universal Appeal, or any song as good as Universal Appeal, if I remember correctly, because honestly, a lot of Season 2 songs fall into the more, this is a song about the episode kind of songs, and...
Shangri-La!
As we've said a million billion times.
Shangri-La! It goes something like that.
I haven't watched the Shangri-La episode since we watched it a year ago at this point, almost.
But yeah, Universal Appeal, it's like perfect song, perfect visuals, does not get any better than that.
I had a hard time with, I believe there were 2 other Misfits songs that were making a late run as well. Gimme a Gimmick is really good. that I really like, and surprise, surprise, but I think Congratulations I like more than both of those, so I wasn't able to put them in.
I should have put Welcome in the Jungle just to hear you scream.
But that's the thing. I don't
The
dislike
first song we ever argued about.
I don't dislike Welcome to the Jungle enough to put it in my bottom 3, so that should be enough.
There you go. I don't know how bad is Come On In, the Water's Fine.
Oh fuck! Maybe I should have put that in there. Oh,
Woulda, coulda, shoulda.
I probably like that less than Back in Shape, but whatever.
I think we give like ups to There's a Melody Playing and There Ain't Nobody Better, right?
Oh yeah, no, those are definitely. I mean, I definitely like There Ain't Nobody Better more. There's a Melody Playing is okay. I mean, you know, it's as we said, it's the Misfits are better. There's your indication.
Exactly.
So I mean, I think that's just that's our big crescendo there. That was the Gem Season 1 wrap-up Kimtacuber, ending on the note of Universal Appeal being the best song of Season 1 and probably the series. And I'm going to feel like a real dumbass if there's like a Stingers song that I forgot about that's just like really good, I'm going to feel like an asshole.
I don't remember a single one of the Stinger songs, so I guess we'll see when we get to Season 3.
Which is a long ways away, because we won't be going straight back into Gem as it stands. We're going to be doing a little bit more of our movie detours as we do before getting back into Gem and the Holograms. This is just a little, all you Gem maniacs out there, all you
Nailed it.
CWTA faithful. We won't be getting back into Gem until, I think it's like we're going to have our Halloween episode, and then November the 1st is when we're starting Season 2, right?
Yeah, because we were going over our schedule, like I was referencing earlier. We have quite a bit planned out already, just for the sake of our own sanity, I guess. And when we were getting around October, I was like, well, is one of our episodes coming out on Halloween? Is that what happened?
I think it's the 26th.
Okay, we were pretty close, at least. Close enough that I was like, would it be nice if we could actually, do something on Halloween?
Which even then, I don't know, I'd have to, we could even just release that episode on Halloween, then, why not?
Halloween's a Monday, it turns out, so.
Fuck it, whatever.
Yeah, we had that discussion and then said, hey, why don't we just take a little bit of a break and build up more of a, movie backlog.
So, yep, we've got, I believe it's 5 movies until we get back to Gem, but, hey, you know what? You like it. You like the movie episodes, right? Question mark?
Lots to like. I'm no longer in a place that has abysmal internet, so our lives will be easier.
Yeah, no, that makes one of us, so.
Well, moving up in life.
Now's the point in the evening where we will list off all of the fun contact things where you can reach us. You can follow us on Twitter at cwtapod. You can follow me at Octopus, which is AWKTAPUS.
You can follow me at FunnyGirlTM, like trademark.
You can find us on the iTunes, on the SoundCloud, on the Stitcher Radio. Leave a rating, give a review, do whatever you feel like. You can also shoot us an email, cwtapod@gmail.com, where you can tell us about anything we missed, because honestly, as we were talking, this was all, we had very thin guidelines, and we managed to pull like an hour and 15, hour and 20 minutes out of it, so I think we did pretty well.
Yeah, again, we're pretty good at just having discussions about things that we like. That's how this podcast was birthed. Essentially, yeah.
So, but there's probably something that we loved or hated that was missed, so please give us a reminder of how we should feel about the series.
Keep the Kimtacuber alive!
Keep the Kimtacuber alive. And we would very much like to thank our contributors, our fellow contributors, I should say, to the Kimtacuber here. Good buddy M1 account on Twitter.
Madeline Schmadeline, who is at Ignore the Robot on Twitter, and our friend Avery, who is Pelagia on Twitter.
Next week, to the surprise of nobody again, we've done 6 movies, and our 7th is going to be another musical. So,
hooray!
Hooray! What could it possibly
be?
87? A musical
the 80s!
from the 1980s again. A musical, and it's gonna be great. I promise you. I think it's probably the last musical episode we're gonna end up doing. I think, right?
Whoops.
Unless we eventually do Grease 2.
Yeah.
Which, please no, I don't ever want that to happen. But join us next time for the Can't We Talk About podcast. My name is Joe.
My name's Kristen.
And next week we will be back. 80s musical. Bank on it.
Grease 2 is in the mail.
Please no.